A woman from New Hampshire made waves a couple of years ago when she single-handedly landed a massive bluefin tuna in waters off Hampton that ended up weighing just over 600 pounds. Michelle Bankowitz-Chikale owns her own fishing boat called No Limits. We suspect if she keeps this up, eventually she's gonna need a bigger boat. And she likely could have afforded one after that catch.
Yeah, so bluefin tuna can fetch prices anywhere from $20 to around $5,000 a pound, depending on the quality. That means one 600-pound fish could have been sold for about $3 million.
Needless to say, bluefins are a way for fishermen in the Gulf of Maine to make some big money.
A little more than a decade ago, bluefin populations in these waters were at an all-time low, but they've made a big comeback, only to be threatened once again now by climate change, which is seriously affecting their main food source. Here's News Center Maine's Jack Moment.
In Portland, it's an early start, with ships and ferries starting their routes. The crew aboard this boat starts theirs. They get up this early because we're headed far offshore, into deep, big water, searching for one of the ocean's biggest fish.
One of the baddest fish on the planet.
Andrew LaBelle has fished all his life, but fishing for the massive Atlantic bluefin tuna is an itch he says he can't let go of.
Been purely tuna ever since. It's hard to shake the tuna bug.
And soon, once we set up the rods, we start to mark on the fish finder.
No love.
So far, nothing. Not only do they have the pressure to catch a fish and make money,
yeah, we wipe them down with just alcohol wipes.
They have the pressure of helping the species survive.
Nothing in nature is static.
Researchers with the Gulf of Maine Research Institute and the University of Maine are on board.
I don't think people disagree that we're obviously in a period of change.
Walt Gillette with the GMRI is here with one of his students from UMaine, Kay. The two are on board with their hope of tagging a wild bluefin tuna and releasing it. The Atlantic bluefin tuna on paper seems the most equipped to handle the impacts of climate change. It can survive temperatures from the mid-30s all the way up to 80 degrees. They travel over long distances of the ocean from the Gulf of Mexico to the Mediterranean Sea. They can also eat a wide variety of food. But that's just where the problems of climate change can hit bluefin tuna.
To me, that would be the biggest threat.
Walt Gillette says the food that tuna targets, such as herring and mackerel, are not as equipped to handle climate change.
If there's nothing here for them to eat, they will not stick around. That's the bottom line.
It's a climate change gamble fishermen like Speeches don't want to take without a fight.
No fisherman will fish something to extinction. It's not in our best interest. That's why I'm so involved with science and research, because I like to have good science out there.
And just as the scientists get their tagging gear ready, finally, around lunchtime, we can see the partnership between fishermen and scientists working quickly to fight the 300-pound fish.
Now we know he's been hooked.
Peeling line out, but eventually hoisting it to the boat. Working to keep the fish alive and healthy, so within 60 seconds, the tuna is back in the water. The fishermen get it back swimming, and then success.
That's what we want. Quick one, healthy release.
Fishermen are happy with a good fight, while researchers take notes of their new tuna, tracking data for the next 9 months. The scientists hope the more tuna they track, the better they'll understand how tuna will change their habits amid a changing climate. The fishermen and scientists now wait again for another shot of tagging a tuna. It could be a while, but it's our lucky day. Catching everybody off guard, it's the same process again, fighting for more than half an hour.
Feeling it's similar in size.
But now it's a game time decision. Do they take the fish and tag it, or collect their money and take their fish back to harbor?
Two. Won't kill him now.
The hook rips out of the tuna, injuring it, making it untaggable.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. See you soon. Bye.
The fishermen can now go home with some money. But the job of the scientists is not done. University of Maine student Kay Zip gets to work collecting samples of the tuna that the fishermen would normally just throw away.
It's one of the most unique aspects, I think, of this fishery is the fact that we get to work so closely with fishermen.
Weighed and paid.
I'd really like to see this industry thrive if it can, even after I'm out of it.
And after decades of working hard to preserve the species, Captain Speeches says it's not about him.
It's what you do because it's the right thing to do and you like to do it. It's not about money.
Constantly working to find out how even our strongest species can handle a changing climate. In Portland, Jack Mullen, News Center, Maine.
What a boat excursion to be out there.